Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Today we look at how a UK based hauler shipped drugs for gangs across Europe from his Warrington living room in lockdown. Mr Maher, originally from Ireland, has been sentenced at Liverpool Crown Court to more than 14 years in jail after pleading guilty to drugs and money laundering charges. He made thousands of pounds a week using an encrypted EncroChat phone to fix the movements of drugs and money. Mr Maher is the first major crime boss jailed using messages obtained when French police cracked the EncroChat network. The phones were considered mandatory for high-end organised crime, and more than 1,000 suspects have been arrested on the strength of the evidence their messages contain. Mr Maher, 39, used the EncroChat handles satirical and snacker as he did deals with organised crime networks in the UK, Ireland, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Turkey and Bulgaria. The National Crime Agency says he was hugely influential among Europe's drugs cartels. Sentencing him, Judge Orby QC said Mr Maher was a high-ranked facilitator, a go-between for criminal networks needing to transport their drugs between Holland and Ireland. Passing a sentence of 14 years and 8 months, the judge told Mr Maher, "You were an extremely important cog in the wheel of a sophisticated network." Mr Maher would arrange for lorries to move massive loads of drugs hidden alongside legitimate cargoes such as fruit or wine, and in one direction then to bring cash in the other direction. Police found out about his operation after he was arrested in connection with the deaths of 39 Vietnamese migrants while they were being transported to the UK in October 2019. Mr Maher had previously owned the trailer in which they were found. The NCA put him under surveillance in an attempt to identify the scale of his criminal activities. However, the cracking of the EncroChat network by French intelligence provided the National Crime Agency with thousands of encrypted messages. They were able to watch, almost in real time, as he did deals with crime bosses across Europe. Martin Clark from the NCA said he posed as an honest hauler, but was in fact very much a professional facilitator, and he's done it all remotely, sitting in his living room. He's never personally been anywhere near any of it. In fact, the NCA said he had been scrupulous about social distancing during the pandemic while communicating via EncroChat with dozens of criminals. The evidence the agency has uncovered shines a new light on the way in which a smuggling network operates. Mr Maher would be contacted by clients wanting to move hundreds of kilos of drugs. The messages were written in criminal slang. Mr Maher would discuss deals involving shipments of top shelf drugs such as cocaine, or colo, the purest form, from Colombia. Heroin, which he deemed a more down-market drug, was known as bottoms. Shipments might come from the flat, the Netherlands, and the lorry returned with paper, aka cash. Officers working on EncroChat cases are having to develop skills in understanding the slang suspects are using in their messages. In this message, Mr Maher is telling an alleged co-conspirator that they are not doing too badly despite the lockdown. Hopefully for police, he sets out the network of drug transportation routes he is currently operating. "Once we get this travel ban lifted, mate, we'd be on the pig's back. That alone is a lot of taxi. Plus we have the receiver here from Asia, so mate, we have a lot more than others. That's why I'm not stressing yet." The police translation reads, "Our HGV drug courier business is working out okay at the moment. Someone is bringing shipments from Holland and Belgium to the UK." However, like many users of the EncroChat network, Mr Maher believed his messages could not be read, so he didn't bother trying to communicate in code. Crucial evidence was obtained from pictures on his phone. His drivers would photograph the shipments to prove they had been picked up. They would sometimes use a token during the handover. This involved showing a particular Eurobank note with digits previously agreed as evidence of identity. When Mr Maher was moving drugs, he would earn around £3,500 each time. For money transported for laundering in consignments of €300,000 at a time, he would skim 1% of the total as his payment. Mr Maher lived in a fairly modest Cheshire home, but police surveillance spotted luxury cars including a Range Rover, Porsche Cayenne, Mercedes GLS and Corvette parked on the drive. When they raided his house, they found evidence he had spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on Rolex and Hublot watches. Mr Maher had taken holidays in Dubai, Mexico and New York, where he liked to buy pricey modern art, including a map of the world created from bullets. Mr Maher then discusses how to set up a front company in Spain, which they can use to move drugs. The messages reveal the men planned to set up a legitimate haulage firm to import legal items into the UK and to Ireland. But this activity would then be used to smuggle cocaine, cash and firearms. Mr Maher came to the attention of the NCA after police discovered the bodies of 39 dead Vietnamese migrants who had asphyxiated in the back of a lorry registered in his name. Although police were unable to charge Mr Maher in relation to the deaths, the NCA then became interested in his affairs. Mr Maher's role in the global drugs trade became clear when police in Europe managed to penetrate the EncroChat network that he relied on to communicate with associates. Mr Maher, then 40, was arrested at his Warrington home during a raid by the NCA. He later pleaded guilty to 2 charges relating to importing Class A drugs into the UK and 2 charges of money laundering. After Mr Maher was sentenced, senior officers at the NCA spoke about the role he played as a logistics man who helped notorious crime groups. The NCA branch commander, Martin Clark, said Mr Maher moved in the highest criminal circles, acting as a logistics man for some of the UK, Ireland and Europe's most notorious organised crime groups who trusted him with their drugs and their money. We believe the offences he has been convicted of represent the tip of the iceberg in terms of his overall criminality. Mr Maher bragged in EncroChat messages about being involved in organised crime for over 20 years, during which time it's highly likely he shipped tons of drugs and tens of millions of pounds around Europe. After a painstaking investigation, we have been able to bring him to justice, and that investigation has not stopped. We will use all the tools available to hit him where it hurts, in the pocket, to ensure he can't continue his luxury lifestyle when he is released. So what are your thoughts about this Warrington-based drugs gang and how potentially Mr Maher could have been profiting from the drugs trade for 20 years, although not proven, but received a 14-year jail sentence for drugs and money laundering offences? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay safe.